Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel everybody, and welcome back to episode 10 of the Gymkhana Grid GR Corolla build. In today's video, we have finally gotten our cylinder head back from the machine shop, and we are finally going to assemble it and put it back together so that we can get this thing back on the road. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alrighty guys, so here we have it, the whole shebang spread out. We have our new cams, our new head studs, some washers and some nuts. And Dave, you want to run us through what they did to the old cylinder head over here?
Yeah, so new valves, new guides, new springs, new seats, new retainers. They ground the seats to seat the new valves. Resurfaced every surface on the head, kind of cleaned it up real nice too.
All this work was done by a company called Cylinder Head Express in Asante, Minnesota. We worked with a guy named Justin there. Super awesome guy, super great customer service. They got us in and out in less than a week, which is super awesome for us because that means that we can produce these videos for you guys. Super awesome. The cylinder head turned out great. He did say that the factory install height came out perfect on all the springs, so that's good news. In today's video, we're gonna have David over here with the great help of John the mechanic. Install the new cams, we'd have new head studs, and then kind of piece together all this other stuff that needs to go to head so that finally we can install it on the motor and get it all back together and get one step closer to getting this thing back on the dyno and then getting back on the road so that we can rip it. What? You were gonna say something.
John the mechanic, you're a real YouTuber now.
Oh yeah, John the mechanic. I'm like Chris Fix, but it's called John the mechanic over here. All right. Dave, what do you got in your hands over there?
You got a gasket.
Woo, little spicy boy.
Got some nice fire rings in here. Ready?
It's not new anymore.
Nope.
Used. It's a
Not
used
returnable.
head gasket. Used head gasket. So here is kind of the order that everything has to go. We're going to install the head studs in the motor. After that, we're going to install... That's my fire ring, bro.
That is a fire ring. It fell right out.
Here. Put that on your finger. It's one of the most expensive rings you'll ever see. Gangster, bro. Got that drip going. Dave's got drip. Everybody comment down below. Dave's got drip. Drip king over here.
Oh my goodness.
oh my goodness. We need to get the head studs installed into the block. We have 8 of them, 4 on each side. After that, we're gonna move to placing the head onto the motor with that gasket that Dave just broke all the way over there. You know what the torque specs are on them, big guy?
I think Charles said like 80. So we'll go in even steps starting from the inside, working our way around. Probably go like 20 pound-feet at a time. We don't have any like specific head stud assembly stuff, so we're just gonna use the camshaft stuff. I think any good Moly lubricant should work for that. We just want to take the friction out of the threads so we get good torque value when we're tightening it.
After we kind of torque down the head, what's after that?
We install our lifters or lash adjusters and rocker arms. Those are different intake versus exhaust, so we'll show you how those are marked. Then we're going to install our lower cam towers. There's a couple of them that we need to install. Install the camshafts, the high pressure fuel pump stand, valve cover. Oh, we might want to time the motor too, you know.
With that being said, I think what we'll do is we'll kind of put you guys up on a stand and get her going. First things first, we gotta get these head studs installed and get this head torqued down to the block. So let's get started. So we got all 8 bolts on the head torqued down, the 8 main head studs or head bolts, whatever you want to call them. These ones are technically studs because we're putting nuts on them. Then we have another 3 bolts that kind of go around where the timing chain and the timing mechanism goes. So we just got to tighten up these 3 bolts, give them a little torque value. These ones aren't quite 80 foot-pounds. I think Dave is going to about, what, 30?
18.
18.
Yeah, per the manual.
Dang-a-lang. We got 18 foot-pounds on these jobs. So next up after this, we're actually going to go and move to installing all the lifters on all of the valves. And then after that, we can move on to the cams.
So these are the valve lash adjusters. They're hydraulic adjusters instead of having to shim individual valves. They're actually different from intake to exhaust. You can see on the exhaust here, do you see that row of stars right below the second row of lettering? So there's stars on this one and there's circles on this one. They're very, very hard to see. Maybe we can take a picture with the camera and just...
Oh yeah, that'll definitely work.
Yeah.
So those go where when you're talking about? Oh, up in
Go, yep. They'll just drop right in. Okay. So another thing we're doing here, throwback to the old DSM days. So you can see after running in the engine, these are completely solid. They don't move at all. I don't think we want that because we don't know if these are an auto bleed down, meaning if we install the cams, are they automatically going to bleed down to the correct height? Because these are supposed to be lash adjusters, right? And they're just supposed to take up the free space. Well, if they're locked all the way one way, they're going to hang the valves open. So in theory, we need to bleed these. So to do that, we just take a paper clip and there's a little check valve right in the end. You can kind of feel it hit. And now, I'll get a little oil out of this one. Just a couple drops. And now, just get a little play. And we'll install it like that, just so that they're not over lengthened and they don't hang any valves open or anything like that. It'll be noisy for the first 15, 20 minutes. But after that, they'll pump up and it'll be like, we didn't even do it. I mean, we'd rather break this thing doing donuts at the parking lot than starting it.
Yeah, some valve lash job type of thing.
That'd be super lame.
Super lame. Then we'd have to take it all apart and that would be even more super lame. It is now time to move on to the fun part of the rest of these bags. So we have both the cam gears. Dave already is test fitting this one on, which is what you're kind of seeing here is the mark on the top of the cam gear for the timing mark is actually lining up perfectly with the mark off the casting. After that, we have a couple shimmy jings and doo-doo-doos that go on that are like kind of guiding the chain, the timing chain up. It's gonna wrap around that gear, that smaller one. Then it's gonna kind of wrap around here, wrap around those gears. And that will be it. Timing chain is down here. Got the couple timing marks, got some pinks and some yellows and some doo-doo-doos and some don't-a-don'ts. So we got the tensioner installed right here. You guys can see there's a little pinhole right by where my pinky was. And in there, you can actually put kind of a paper clip.
Much like this one.
There we go. It slides in there, and it actually, what it does is it keeps the tensioner wound so that it doesn't kind of unravel and you don't have to twist it all the way back up. It's kind of complicated, not really, but if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. Moral of the story is, right when, yeah, you tell it, Dave.
Well, you see, I was making some good progress. Too good. That's the problem. So I had a paper clip in here, not this one, similar to this one, and I was trying to line up these bolt holes, and it put just a little bit of tension on. It released this, and it fell right down into the engine, right into the oil pump.
Yeah, so she's down there.
I think it's probably quitting time for today.
Yeah, down in the abyss.
Tomorrow.
We made good progress though today. We got basically the entire motor back together, other than just gaskets and seals, basically. Just a few more things. This is all ready to go. Other than kind of the front plate and the top plate. Fuel pump, or the high pressure fuel pump has to go on, and then of course all the fuel rails, exhaust manifold, turbo, that sort of stuff. But we're gonna call it for the video for today. A little update on actually the diff situation from last video. We still have everything kind of torn apart. We got new bearings and everything from the dealership, so we are almost ready to put all this stuff back together. The only thing we're waiting on now is actually shims for the rear diff.
When you install these, they need to mesh at a certain point. The contact patch needs to be very precise, and there also needs to be a certain amount of tension or backlash so that the gear can just move about 5 to 10 thousandths freely. Well, with these factory shims, we installed everything, and there was so much tension that the cover was starting to deform. There was zero backlash, so way too tight. More of the story is, I popped these out. They kind of go on each side to put tension or take up like space, preload.
This is how it would kind of sit inside of the differential, and so this shim basically just takes up free space, and it's a super fine measurement in there. You can see one of these says 0.08, the other one says 0.088. I think it was 16 shims ordered from the dealership because we have no idea what we need until we put it in here, tighten the case down with the differential in there, and then use a measuring device to measure the preload of the actual differential. Same thing goes for the front one, but the front one only has spot for one shim, so there's only a shim on one side of the diff, so it's a little bit easier to kind of get in one try. So the front differential should be good. We have to pull off this kind of sleeve off of the old diff, and I just got the tool today so that we can do that. And then the front differential should be good once we get this off, reset all the gears in there. The rear diff, sadly, we do have to wait on the actual shims, but the dealership has been pretty good at getting us parts basically next day. So hopefully we'll have that in a few days. We are hoping to start the reassembly of the motor and getting the motor into the car by this Friday. So we're, a week and a half out from having the motor in the car, running, driving, and on the dyno so that we can test out the new valve springs, as well as what will be the next video. We'll have to keep that a secret for now, but check back. This video will go up on Wednesday if you guys are watching this, and then we'll actually have a video a couple days later on Friday. We did get a lot of work done today though. We got a lot of the motor put back together. We only have a couple more things that need to go on before it is almost ready to go back in the car. With that, I think we're gonna end it here. If you guys liked the video, please go down below. Hit the frickin' like button, bro. It really helps us out. If you guys like this sort of video where we showed kind of the torque specs and showed the entire kind of how-to about putting the head on the motor. If you guys aren't subscribed yet, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, because trust me, you guys want to get the notification when we start making some real power with this thing. And honestly, we're only about a week away. Next week, our goal is to have the car ready, driving on the dyno next week so that we can make the videos for you, so we can really start seeing how much power this motor can build. If you guys have any questions about the GR Corolla or have any questions about anything else that you saw in this video, please leave them down below. We love responding to you guys' comments. And with that, this video is over. So we will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.